You take roughly 20,000 breaths a day, and almost every single one of them is spent unconsciously. Have you ever noticed inside every breath, between the inhale and the exhale, there is a small gap, a fraction of a second, where the breath stops completely. In Vigyan Bhairava Tantra, one of the most ancient and powerful tantric scriptures ever written, Lord Shiva calls it the doorway to unimaginable possibilities. That's the Bhairavi state. It is the state where the boundary between the observer and the observed dissolves. Because that is where you receive the grace of Ma Tripura Bhairavi, the sixth Mahavidya, and transcend through the three stages of consciousness: waking, dream, and deep sleep. Whoever learns to rest in the Bhairavi state achieves a supernatural consciousness that holds a terrifying power to change the future. Stay with me, because today I'm going to show you exactly how to reach that pause using an ancient 3-step breathing technique hidden inside the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. A technique so powerful that Lord Shiva himself is said to have practiced it to reach a transcendent state. Let me ask you something honest. How do you currently try to get what you want in life? Maybe you plan and work harder and try again when it doesn't work. This is what we call three-dimensional creation. In 3D creation or three-dimensional creation, you move matter with matter. You use physical effort in physical time across physical space. And it works, but slowly and painfully. Sometimes it doesn't work. The Bhagavad Gita names this trap beautifully. In chapter 3 verse 5, Shri Krishna says, "No being can exist even for a moment without acting, but action that comes from ego, from fear, from force, from survival, that action only creates more bondage, more effort, more waiting, more suffering." That is the three-dimensional loop most people never escape. Now, in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Lord Shiva teaches us to manifest from the 5th dimension. In the 5th dimension, you do not chase the experience. You become the field that attracts it. Clear intention plus coherent thought plus aligned emotion. When these three come together, your energy begins to broadcast a signal, and the experiences that match the signal begin to move towards you. Krishna was describing this very principle when he said, "Action rooted in consciousness does not bind, it liberates." That is the difference between a person struggling through life and a person through whom life flows effortlessly. So now you might ask, if 5th dimension manifestation is so powerful, then why isn't everyone living it? Because our brain doesn't allow us to be. When you are worried about money, about relationships, about the future, your brain enters what scientists call the beta state. Every problem activates a separate part of your mind. The brain becomes fragmented, and a fragmented brain can only create a fragmented life. The Ashtavakra Gita says this with devastating clarity. The restless mind runs endlessly towards objects, towards this desire, then that fear, then this problem. And in all that running, it never arrives anywhere. It is exhausted, but it is never fulfilled. Now contrast that with the coherent brain. When a person learns to relax their focus, both the left and the right hemispheres of the brain begin to synchronize. That means the right logic and intuition meet your clear thought and emotion. In that harmonious emotional state, possibilities that seem distant suddenly feel very close. About 4,000 years ago, long before neuroscience existed, the ancient yogis mapped the Nadi system, the invisible architecture of energy running through the human body. And within this system, 3 channels matter more than all others. The first, the Ida Nadi, connected to your left nostril, the lunar channel. It governs the mind, the intellect, and the emotional body. The second, the Pingala Nadi, connected to your right nostril, the solar channel. It governs vitality, action, and dynamic energy. When Ida is dominant, means your left nostril is more active, you overthink, and become anxious. When the Pingala is dominant, you become reactive, aggressive, and eventually burn out. That is what the Srimad Bhagavatam points to when it describes how scattered prana keeps the soul veiled from its own nature. When the life force is divided, the Atman cannot shine through. But there is a third channel, the Sushumna Nadi, running along the center of our spine. The Sushumna does not belong to either side. It is not lunar nor solar, not feminine nor masculine, not thought nor emotion. It is the channel of union. And when the Ida and the Pingala fall into perfect balance, when the two rivers of energy stop competing and begin flowing as one, is when the Sushumna awakens. And when Sushumna awakens, the 7 chakras along the spine activate one by one. Prana begins moving vertically upward through the very center of your being. This is what the yogis call Kundalini awakening, what modern science calls whole brain coherence, escaping the matrix of space and time. And the greatest living symbol of this mastery, Hanumanji. Look at the classical images of Lord Hanuman carefully. On Hanumanji's right side stands Lord Rama, representing Pingala, consciousness, action, solar fire. On his left side stands Mata Sita, representing Ida, mind, intelligence, lunar grace. Hanumanji does not choose one over the other. He holds both, perfectly balanced, perfectly unified. And because of that mastery, he attained the Ashtasiddhis, 8 extraordinary powers over physical reality, the ability to become infinitely small, infinitely vast, to obtain anything desired, to fulfill any intention. But before I teach you how to shift from 3-dimensional space to 5th dimension, you should understand the importance of the middle floor. The 4th dimension between 3 and 5 is 4. You need it. Think of consciousness like a building with many floors. The ground floor is the 3rd dimension. Effort, survival, fear, scarcity, all live here. The top floor is the 5th dimension. It is the ground of effortless creation, joy, resonance, gratitude live here. You feel that what you seek is already on its way. And between them, there is the 4th dimension. It's like an elevator between the 3rd and the 5th dimensions. And the only way that elevator works is by the combination of your thought and emotion. And here is how it works. When your mind forms a thought and your heart generates a matching emotion, you enter the frequency of the 4th dimension. And what does this mean? For example, if you are thinking, this will never work for me, and the emotion that follows is fear, the elevator goes down. But if your thought is, this is already happening, and the emotion that follows is genuine gratitude, then the elevator moves up towards the 5th dimension, towards coherence, towards the Bhairavi state. The Bhagavad Gita describes the master of this elevator in chapter 2, verse 56 and 57. Krishna calls him the Sthita Pragya, the one of stable wisdom. He says one who is undisturbed even in the midst of sorrow, one who does not chase happiness, one who is free from fear, attachment, anger. Such a person is a sage of steady mind. Shri Krishna is not asking you to suppress emotion. He is not asking you to pretend everything is fine. He is asking you to become the operator of your own inner state, to pause before the automatic reaction takes over and consciously choose which floor you want to travel to. Because the breath activates the energy, but it is the emotion that gives it direction. Together, they create the signal that the 5th dimension requires. Now, let us build that signal. Inside the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Shivji describes a breathing practice called the Soham Vidya, the secret of 111 breaths. Soham is not just a mantra. It is the natural sound of your breath already happening inside you, whether you are aware of it or not. During inhalation, the subtle sound so arises. During exhalation, the sound hum arises. So, hum. I am that. Now let me walk you through the process exactly as described in the Vigyan Bhairava Tantra. Lie down on your back. Place a heavy book on your navel. Keep your hands behind your head. Now, breathe. Not from your chest, from your belly. With every inhale, the book rises. With every exhale, the book falls. Your chest should barely move. When the breath reaches the navel, it begins activating the energy centers along the spine. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, moving upwards towards Anahata, Vishuddha, Agya, Sahasrara. All 7 chakras receiving prana for the first time in perhaps years. When breathing is shallow, trapped in the chest, these centers remain dormant. The Sushumna Nadi stays closed and no amount of positive thinking can compensate for a blocked energy system. Practice this for 10 minutes daily. Build slowly towards 30. Don't rush. Don't force. Let the breath deepen on its own terms. Once navel breathing feels natural, move to the second step. Stand with your back slightly away from a wall. As you inhale from the belly, slowly raise your arms above your head until the backs of your hands touch the wall. As you exhale, lower them back down. Feel what happens in your chest as the arms rise. The ribcage opens. The breath expands, not just downward but outward. This is the Ida and the Pingala beginning to synchronize. The energy field around your body is expanding beyond its usual contracted state. That means you are now broadcasting in the 5th dimension. Practice until this movement becomes effortless, until breath and body move as one, without thought, without effort. This effortlessness is the signal that you are ready for the final step. Now, combine everything. The navel breath from step 1, the open, expanding breath from step 2. Add to it the Soham awareness. As you inhale, mentally hear the sound so. As you exhale, mentally hear the sound hum. And between the exhale and the next inhale, find the pause. Do not force it. Do not hold your breath aggressively. Simply notice it. That natural stillness. That fraction of a second where breath has ended and where the next breath hasn't yet begun. Rest here, even for one moment. That moment is the Bhairavi state. That moment is the whole brain coherence. That moment is the quantum field, wide open. Bring a feeling of gratitude into that pause. I am here. I am breathing. I am alive. That alone is enough to shift the elevator upward. Repeat this for 111 breaths. Not because a number is magical in isolation, but because 111 conscious, rhythmic, coherent breaths is enough time for the nervous system to fully settle, for the brain to cross from beta to alpha, for Sushumna to open, for the signal to become clear. Even once a day, this practice begins to reshape the architecture of your consciousness. We began this video with a pause. That fraction of a second between your inhale and your exhale. You have been passing through that pause thousands of times every single day, your entire life. Shiva rested there and called it divine. Krishna pointed to it and called it liberation. Hanumanji mastered it and was given dominion over physical reality. And now you know what lives in that pause. Stillness. A stillness so complete that the noise of three-dimensional creation finally goes quiet. And in that quiet, your true signal emerges. Clear, coherent, unmistakable. You were never meant to push your way through life. You were meant to breathe your way into it, one pause at a time.